Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure?
It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Man, I'm just telling you, it's going to be a very chill day here on the morning grind. I ran into a limit yesterday, and then I intentionally did not get up early, intentionally slept in today, trying to recover because I hit some type of limit yesterday with work. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. Sometimes I think you need to have time like that. So Stray is here. Stray, good morning. And Mike is here. Good morning. Matt is here. Good to see you, Matt. Vision is here. And BGD. Good morning, everybody. So good to see everybody. So, yesterday, Brianna and I took a break, which ended up being desperately needed. I get tons of things to do. I'm still behind on a bunch of stuff. But yesterday, it was scheduled for Brianna and I to watch a movie. We were going to watch Romancing the Stone together, because that is a movie that often comes up as examples for the hero's journey in things like the writer's journey. We've been trying to go through a bunch of different movies that we hadn't seen that often come up as examples, in storytelling structure and things like that. So yesterday I got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, I can't do this anymore. And, I was going to have somebody down here this week to see what was going on down here and potentially help me out, but that person canceled. So that happened a little bit before that. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm out of here. So we actually we watched the movie. All I did was watch. I was going to even try to paint some while I was watching, but I didn't even do that. I just watched. Took some notes because tonight Brianna's going to be on the show. Tonight we're doing table talk. And so we're going to be talking about the hero's journey and could be talking about the elements of Romancing the Stone. Brianna said that she has been having a lot of thoughts lately on theories of masculine and feminine versions of the hero's journey. So we might even talk about that. Romancing the Stone has a female protagonist, but as Brianna was saying, that the masculine and feminine versions of the story may not arc may not align to necessarily male or female protagonists. Hey, Zero the Blade. Good to see you. Hi, Sarah. So I just chilled with the movie last night, and then I intentionally didn't try to get up early and get work done today. So I'm still feeling chill. I'm feeling much more chill and ready to actually do stuff again. But I'm going to take a bit of a break on extreme productivity. So everybody got there. It was. Let's take a sip. Let's breathe and sip. There's some different things to look at today. So we're going to be looking at the Faded Edge RPG, but there's several things to look at today. And I didn't get, let's just breathe. I got coffee ready. Let's breathe in. And sip. It was a cute movie. Yeah, we decided that its structure is primarily adventure, a hero's journey adventure story, but that it's definitely got the romance influences on that, which probably made it in its day the perfect date night movie. It still probably would be today, but so it's probably a fantastic date movie, adventure and romance, Romancing the Stone and the Mummy double feature. Yeah, got to know when it's time to rest and take a break. So one thing that I didn't do. Now Vision's not breaking. Vision's doing a ruck march today. Back wasn't up for it yesterday. Probably shouldn't run during the ruck march. I'm not 24 anymore. Hey, today might be a good day for that. So one thing that's going on today, I've got a meeting with an entertainment attorney at 2:00 today, my time. Then Brianna and I are meeting again on material for on movie pitch material right after I have the meeting with the entertainment attorney. I have got to go grocery shopping. I have no food in this house. So today I need to go grocery shopping. Doing a march is probably not a bad idea either. And then get back here because tonight we're doing the table talk. So it might not be such a huge productivity work day, but there's other stuff but there's a lot of stuff that's happening. Mental and physical break. I'm not 42 anymore. Oh, got orange juice. Excellent. Good morning, W3 Techie. I see you. So let's go. So one thing I didn't do yesterday was I didn't update the morning messages like I was supposed to. That was on the list of things to do. But here we go. The morning message to the messages. The Morning Grind is brought to you by World Anvil. For all the game masters out there, World Anvil supports more than 45 systems, including D&D, or you can create your own. It allows game masters to plan, play, and present their adventures and campaigns. Use the code MORNINGGRIND to get 40% off yearly subscriptions. The Morning Grind is also brought to you by the World of Ataltus. The Ataltus Player's Guide includes 7 new lineages that provide something new and fresh for your player characters. Check it out on ataltus.com and get it for your table. The Morning Grind is also brought to you by the Thrones and Bones Viking-inspired fantasy RPG setting. It includes 37 new creatures and monsters, including the Buttercat, a tiny feline construct made of yarn and spindles that steals milk for its master. Get the book on DriveThruRPG today. And thank you for being here with me live on The Morning Grind. And if you're watching on replay, welcome to you as well. It's great to have you here. If you're enjoying The Morning Grind, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It will really help the channel grow, and I would be very thankful. We also have the Raven Keep Discord server you can join if you would like to be a part of the community. Alright, that's what you need to know. Let's get to the main topic. Okay, so let's go. Also, so what happened today? Okay, I'm trying to make a pledge here, and I can't. So one thing that happened, I just saw that saw this launch. Let me see if I can make a pledge to this Kickstarter, and then I'll pull up the. Okay, that was the right password, I guess. Okay, so let's go over, because Mark Tassin did launch the Cool Name RPG yesterday. So I was supposed to put up some type of, I told him I would start running the ad. Instead of Altaltis, I would start putting in the morning messages that the Cool Name RPG is going on. So let's go over and let's at least take a look at this, because I hadn't even been able to look at the page. So if you've been following the channel, Mark is a friend of ours. He did the World of Altaltis. He runs the Mechanical Muse, the publishing company. And they are starting this, which is the Cool Name RPG right here, which is a new Cool Name RPG. So this is intended to be replaced a community-owned fantasy role-playing system, a fantasy RPG created by veteran game designers that include a perpetual, evocable, royalty-free license for all creators. And I just backed this. He's going to be on the show Thursday night. Thursday night, we ordinarily don't do a stream, but I got the window to talk to him on Thursday night. So Mark is going to be here on Thursday night talking about the Cool Name RPG. Here, I'll put the link to this in the chat. Cool Name. Mark is Mark and Brianna both are very popular. Mark is very popular on the channel. So Cool Name RPG right here on Kickstarter. Can I play this? Let's see what this video is. Now, I thought that, by the way, that, you know, there were two different developments that I'm kind of interested in following here on the channel. There's the Black Flag RPG by Kobold Press that's going on, and then there's Cool Name RPG by Mark Tassin and Mechanical Muse that's going on. And we found out that Black Flag is basically an offshoot of 5th edition, right? So it's going to continue with 5th edition, and was talking about compatibility, but changing things up and whatever else. Cool Name is not 5th edition. So this is being completely designed from the ground up. So I was kind of glad when I saw, well, I thought that, oh, well, I guess that Kobold Press is kind of given an opening to Mechanical Muse and this new Cool Name RPG, because I saw that a lot of people seemed disappointed that Kobold Press was going to be using 5th edition for Project Black Flag. I guess in retrospect, it kind of makes sense, because Kobold Press has published a whole bunch of 5th edition material, and it would make sense to publish a game system that is compatible with all of their existing material. So that, I guess that sort of does make sense. But that does kind of leave an opening then for Mark Tassin to get together a whole bunch of other designers, for those who were unhappy with it being 5th edition, to try to do something completely new. So let's see what his video was.
Hi, I'm Mark Tassin, the founder of Mechanical Muse. Mechanical Muse is teaming up with legends of the role-playing game industry and some of the most brilliant new designers in the business today to make a brand new fantasy role-playing game system. And when we're finished with it, we're giving it away to the world for free. We're doing this because we believe that creative people coming together to make something amazing and magical is what role-playing games are all about. And with all the turmoil in our hobby lately, we want to shine a light on what is best about the games we love and the people that play them. We want this game to serve as an example of what we can accomplish when we put the community and the hobby ahead of profits. The reason for the Kickstarter is that we also believe very firmly that creative people should get paid for their hard work. So we're raising funds to pay those fantastic designers and editors, artists, and all the other creative folks who are contributing to this project. After all, these folks got to eat, they've got bills to pay. We need to make sure we're treating them right. The more we raise as well, the more cool stuff we can include in the game. Plus, we need to hire a great lawyer to make sure that once we make this game free, it stays free forever. Mechanical Muse is putting this all together, but the company is not profiting from this. We're donating our infrastructure and tools to make it happen, and I'm personally donating my time to serve as the lead author and project manager. And just so we're clear, Mechanical Muse will have no ownership of this system when the project is finished. Finally, one of the most important parts of this project is you. Through backer-only surveys, live chats, focus groups, and advanced access to the playtest materials, you'll contribute directly to our pool of ideas and help guide the design of the game. As a member of the community, your voice matters, and we will listen. Backers also get unprecedented behind-the-scenes looks into the creation of this new game, with weekly live streams where we describe the process and talk about what we're working on and share the things that we've been learning. So, join us on this epic adventure and be part of a project that's like no other, where we work together to build a brand new game from the ground up and then give it away to the world for free.
Well, all right. So that is what is going on over there with Mark. So I just backed the Kickstarter. We'll find out more about that and get we have a table talk with him, which I also have to create my table talk intro on Thursday. Oh, you start work again tomorrow. Excellent. Wonderful. Got the job back. Vision took over a year, but I got my job back. Couldn't be happier about working again. Robert says, love World Anvil. I use it for the Harn World campaign. And I was just discovering some new stuff about World Anvil. In fact, I want to put some more stuff in World Anvil before we get started with the RPG. So let's see. Mark is. Mark, as far as I know, no, I don't believe he ever was with Wizards of the Coast. No, Mark was not. Now, he was I really got to know him when he's a friend of Lou Anders. Now, Lou Anders is also frequently on the channel. So I got to know him because he was a friend of Lou Anders, and I'm friends with Lou. And Mark Tassin was the head of the Gen Con Writers Symposium for several years. So he was primarily from that side of things, and then started working on the RPG side of things. So, yeah, I don't think so. Well, I will let you know. I will let you know. I may need some help. Like I said, one of the people who I was going to have down here to help me work decided to cancel and is not going to be doing that. So I gotta think about that. So thank you. Okay, let's go over. Let's add something to our World Anvil, because I'll show you something neat about World Anvil. Let's see. Let me bring up my Rabavania. I'm almost done with Rabavania, and I'm excited about that. Let me see. Now, present. I realized I had only I was supposed to write 10,000 words. I want this to be 10,000 words long before the rules start going in. And I realized I had accidentally only allocated 9,100 words on this for some reason. But I'm getting closer to being done. And you can see over here, if I go to this section, so I've still got to write the preface, but then the introduction, the player characters, the religion and magic, the knights and marches, and the gazetteer is all finished. I am just writing the bestiary right now, and I've allocated 1,500 words to it, and I've got 925 words in it right now. So I think I have a few more words I can add someplace in there, but I am getting close, and I'm excited to being able to take that over to well, of course, I'll edit it a few times as a complete document, but it's getting very close. So last time what we did was we moved the rabbit entry over into World Anvil. So now it is time to take a look at classes and professions, or whatever we're calling them. So I said professions. This section describes, let me add this up. I didn't have this up. So let me show you. So this is what I was looking at when I was saying, hey, I'm almost done. You can see that I got green bars over here in introduction and player characters and religion and magic and knights and nobles and gazetteer. And now I'm about a little bit more than halfway done with bestiary, but I think I can afford to put a few more words in there. I was glad that I had a few more words because the raccoon's the bad guy. So I needed some more words to describe the bad guys. So with classes and profession, this section describes 4 different classes or adventuring professions common in Rabavania. The knight is the quintessential warrior. The witch is renowned for her healing abilities. The druid's wilderness knowledge can be invaluable. Damsels are always welcome at home and hearth across the land and have connections among nobles and officiates of the locked. So I think it's time to move Night over to World Anvil. So the 13 virtuous rabbits, resplendent in their gleaming armor, knelt on the bank of Callan Mere. The damsels girt them with white belts, and the mages of the mist dubbed them knights, from the tale of Aidan the Bear, as written by the anchorite of Willow Grove Locked. Knight. The knights are heavily armed and armored elite warriors of Rabavania. They wield sword, axe, flail, and lance, and their armor of iron mail can turn even the sharpest claws of the forest beasts. The knights make up the core of Rabavanian cavalry, riding into battle astride great war foxes that provide them speed and maneuverability. Knights are renowned for their love of battle, but when there are no wars to be fought, knights ride across Rabavania looking for adventure and glory, practicing on the training field or fight in tournaments for their practice on the training field or fight in tournaments for their own honor, that their lady does whose favors they bear. Rabbits are not naturally brave, and the world is a dangerous place. That's why those rabbits who dedicate themselves to the path of knighthood and receive its accolade are well respected. The knights are the knights of, or the knights. Well, I think it's supposed to be of. The knights of Rabavania are expected to put themselves in harm's way whenever others are threatened, whether by snake, wolf, coyote, or raccoon marauders. Although the vast majority of Rabavanian knights are bucks, there are a few does who have received the accolade. Buck knights precede their names with sir to indicate their station. Does who have been dubbed knight precede their name with either dame or sir, according to their preference. So that is my brief write-up on Rabavanian knights. So take that down, and I'm going to move that over to World Anvil. Because the goal will be the first goal is to get 10,000 words in all of the worlds that are being developed here. So stop screen sharing, present, which is actually going to take a little bit more than the writings of those books, because there are some things that go in the book that won't necessarily go in the World Anvil. So let's say over here we are. Let's go to our dashboard. And let's see, what should we put knight under? Material, language, military unit, plot, profession. That sounds like what we should do. Let's put that. Well, see, we also have title. I think it sounds like profession. I think we can change this later anyway. So profession knight. Now, I was trying to figure out something. So I think that I had this set as globally private. I'm going to save changes here. Preview. See, that preview does not take me to what I want it to go to. Articles, knight, edit article. View, that's what I would be expecting preview to show me. Although I would really like for preview to open in a new tab. So now we have an article on knights. It is public. Okay, but now let's publish it and save changes. Because what I want is for some of this information to be private, because you can have what they call a subscriber to the world. And you can get subscribers to the world in different ways, like by uploading an entire. Like, show me this world. How do I get to my world? Well, I just go to it direct. There are now 1,695 words loaded in here. So when I scroll down here, I see it's not showing me. Obviously, I don't have any ways to navigate. I've still got to fix this front page because this is way too much text on the front page. And I'm not seeing any way to navigate like that. The World Codex, World Atlas, World Encyclopedia. If I click that, flora, like I got 3 floors. So something's still not right here. But I think I had everything set to private globally. But what I want to do is I want to set some of these private, because what you can do is for subscribers, you can upload specific lists of email addresses. So if you had people's email addresses who you want to be part of the world, you can load them in. And if you've got a World Anvil account, then you can subscribe to it. And then you get access to everything that's not public, everything that's private on the world. But what you can also do is you can give out a code. I was like, well, I can't do that because there may be some ways that people want to be a part of the world who I don't have their email addresses. And plus, I really don't want to have to manage an entire list of email addresses. But what you can do is you can generate a link that if you have a World Anvil account and then you click that link, that it gives you access to all of the private stuff on the world. And so I thought that would be a great thing to do for the members of the channel here. So I need to get that hooked up, get that working right. And then what I can do is I can post a members only post here on the YouTube channel. And I can say, here's the link to the Tales of Rabavania World Anvil. So there'll be some public information, but there'll be some private information. And then what you do is you click that link. And if you've got the World Anvil account, set up your World Anvil account, click that link, and then it'll give you access to everything on the world. So I'm thinking that that will be an additional perk of the channel members, is to be able to get access to all of the private material on the world. And as we go, we're going to be building out more and more and more. It does sound like it's going to be customizable. Hey, good morning, Pan Smith. Let's see. Dazzling these World Anvil. I'm really looking forward to having these set up. I think I'm actually going to put up a third World Anvil, because I might have 3 worlds to do. I'm not pitching anything at the movie meeting. What we are doing is we are getting our pitch material ready. Brianna and I are trying to get pitch material ready for our movies. So what we basically had, so she and I meet every week to talk about stories and talk about that. We were told specifically to not go out and try to pitch any type of movie or TV show or whatever it is you're trying to pitch. Do not come out to Hollywood until we both have 2 to 3 movies to pitch. So I might try to do 3. So we got to have pitch material for 3, because if somebody doesn't like something that you are pitching, like, well, do you have anything else? The answer has to be yes. You need to be able to pull something else out of your bag in order to pitch. So we are trying to prepare our pitch material. So basically, in order to pitch a movie, I've got to have 2 and maybe 3 things. So Brianna and I are trying to create these 2 to 3 things for each one of our films. A complete script. So in order to create the script, first I got to create the beat sheet. So I have got to write out the beat sheet, and I haven't been able to work on the Rabavania beat sheet. I've got to work on that again very soon. So once I have the beat sheet and I get that approved, then I can begin writing the actual script. So everything has got to have the complete script written out. Then everything has to have a pitch deck, which is our, the PowerPoint slides, like 12 or 13 slides that go over very specific things that would pitch the movie. So you've got the script, the pitch deck, and then I want to have a 30-second trailer of each one of those that demonstrates visually what it would be like. So Brianna and I are going to be talking about pitch decks this afternoon. Go to the world setting and use secrets. Yeah, you can use secrets as well to add in secrets, but you can also just make things private, make specific articles private. So I was planning on just in the beginning, just using private articles that can be accessed only by subscribers. I think that's the way I was going to do it. I was very glad to find out that I could just give out a link to get subscribers, because I was like, I don't really want to have to manage an email list. And if you join the channel, then I don't know your email address anyway, because I don't want to have to ask it, because that's just too much, So if something like this, I don't have your email address, that's fine. I just hand you the link. You join the channel, I send you the link, and then you can join up. Hang on just one second. Like I said, I'm having a chill day and I need more coffee. I'm going to run. Just give me 20 seconds to get more coffee. Good. Sarah says, once you pitch, if you're accepted, will you be a writer or a producer? Both. Ideally. Now, in the beginning, I'm sure somebody else would be assigned to be a producer who actually has more connections and things like that. But my interests are being a writer and a producer. Brianna is slightly different in that she is interested in being a writer and a director. So she approaches things from the director perspective, and I approach things from the writer producer perspective. Oh, really? Now I am paying for World Anvil, so I don't know about that. I know. Do you have to make private articles? You have to have a paid World Anvil subscription. I did not know that. I do have a paid World Anvil subscription. So, and hey, use the World Anvil code if you're thinking about getting one. Use Morning Grind to get 40% off. Do you do a PowerPoint like a storyboard for the movie? I have not been storyboarding anything yet because I don't have the scripts yet. The pitch deck is not a storyboard. It's about what characters are in it. It's about what the themes are, what movies are similar to the ones that you're trying to do, that kind of theme. That's what that is. But now what I am going to do, though, I am going to storyboard those trailers because they're going to be, those teasers, those 30-second teasers for Tales of Rabavania, for Theophany. And then I may do a Cthulhu horror one and have 3 because I've got some stories that I want to tell in the Cthulhu mythos that I never got to tell when I was working with the Journey to the Tree of Sorrows with David. But when I do those are going to be expensive. And so in order to get them done, I'm going to very tightly script them and then storyboard them so everybody knows exactly what it is that we are trying to put on screen. And the person, my mentor out in LA, was saying, if those 30-second trailers aren't good, don't include them in a script. Don't include them in the pitch. They have to be good. If they're good, then they're icing on the cake. So I've been trying to practice with the cultists and everything we're doing here. That's been part of the goal from the very beginning, from years, in order to practice being able to produce something that's actually good enough to be included and be an advantage in pitch material. Yeah, I think it would be. I think doing some really serious Cthulhu would that we don't see enough of that. Okay, let's go over to the RPG stuff, which also, because I decided to kind of chill, I have not worked on as much as I wanted to over the past couple of days. I was trying to finish Rabavania. Okay, so here we are back with our Fated Edge. And I think we had just finished talking about this section right here being under pressure because we were looking at different dice stuff. So this has not been completely finished writing yet. What I want to look at is, so what is it that's the minimum necessary in order to produce something viable, that like a play testing book for this? Like I said, we decided that 10,000 words would be our benchmark for all primers for the different worlds. I actually also think that those world primers would be something that would be fun and potentially interesting to have during a pitch if you're with somebody in person, because I'd like to be able to hand them. I think having some physical objects there as well would be nice. Some people, they say, will create like a movie poster. So I think actually creating a movie poster would be fun too. A mock-up movie poster, so that if you're actually, of course, most pitches might be digital now, but if you're in some place where you actually are with somebody physically, to have like a small little tabletop easel with a foam core mounted movie poster that's sitting there, so you actually can take a look at the movie poster, a potential movie poster for this as well. I think that would be neat. But also, I think having the little world book, the little world primer that's being written, and being able to hand that to them, or potentially, just give them one of those. Oh, so here's the world primer for what the world of Rabavania is supposed to be. I think would also be neat. So that's why we said that about 10,000 words would be what I was looking for as far as lore goes. And then add rules to it, and therefore. But I'm not sure about that. That was kind of a target over here. but I want to know what's kind of the minimum necessary to flesh out this entire this RPG in order to get it to playtest ready. So we've been working a lot on action resolution. So I'm getting close to the end of that. Now, one of the things that bonus and penalty dice, I think, was what we were just about to look at. And I was taking a look at a lot of that with how our dice, with bonus and penalty dice. So we said that under ordinary circumstances, your task difficulty is determined by the game master. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, that the difficulty class of a particular task, like climbing a wall, will be something inherent to the world, and that's what the difficulty class will be, that you're trying to roll equal to or over. But if there are some things that are making that particular climb, like it being dark or it being pouring rain, then instead of changing the difficulty class of the wall climb, what you do is you start adding penalty dice or bonus dice if you've got things that make it easier for you in order to roll. And then what exactly your penalty dice or your bonus dice can add are going to change. So here I was potentially working with a 0 to 3. And we said that having a 0 is important on the bonus dice and the penalty dice so that players and game masters are alike are more okay with being a bit faster with saying, is this something that could potentially add, influence the ability to complete the check? Can it potentially do it? Because just because you say yes doesn't mean that it is going to do it, because you're not actually paying anything as far as meta currency goes to get the bonus. You're just saying this could potentially have an impact. And so the potential is that it could have no impact at all. But then your bonus dice add things and your penalty dice take things away. And I think over here, when I was looking at dice scripts, I think I had decided that maybe we go up to 2 instead of a 3. So, but maybe, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it were, maybe the situation should be something like that. Let's stay. So we look at our any die 2. So if you're rolling a bonus die, there's a 1/3 chance that it's going to add nothing, 1/3 chance it's going to add 1, and a 1/3 chance that it's going to add 2. All right. Now, one thing I do want to change, because I was saying that I don't want people to be going on limitlessly with, now, could this impact it? Could this impact it? I want to put a cap on that at 3 things. Under ordinary circumstances, so this is what I was talking about, you only roll 3 bonus or penalty dice at once. See, this is back when I was actually thinking about using something like fate points. So this is old information now. So let's say that only 3 circumstances can be used, can provide either positive or negative benefit, or positive benefit or negative modifier to an action roll. Any additional situational modifier or circumstantial modifiers, situational modifiers. If you're sitting there at the table and you get to 3, then that's it. You don't have to keep counting. You've maxed out. However, one thing I'm changing here is that situational modifiers or circumstances, I'm using situational and circumstances. That's going to have to change because I want to make the language tight as well. Certain circumstances may add more than 1 penalty or a bonus or penalty die. So that even though there are only 3 circumstances that may be adjusting it, you may be rolling more than 3 dice, because you could have a circumstance, and I'm thinking that most circumstances, just as a note here, circumstances can range from 1 to 3 bonus or penalty dice. I'm thinking that like a 3 dice bonus would be a lot and pretty rare, but they could exist. And what I want is, we said when we're looking at the difficulty classes and target numbers of all of our stuff, we were saying, hey, how do you roll higher? If you're really trying to roll high, you've got a skill bonus, you've got a very small roll bonus that's added to this, but then what else is added to it? Well, it could be positive circumstances. So the goal of the players is to actually, if they're trying to accomplish something at a higher target number, they need to stack up positive circumstantial modifiers. They're going to allow them to roll more dice. And that's how, so that's good gameplay. The good gameplay of the characters, or the players at the table, are going to allow them to get higher up by potentially rolling more and more bonus dice. So if you only, so if you've got 3 positives, I guess the best positive circumstance possible would be 3 positive circumstances, each that allocate 3 bonus dice. So that would allow you to roll 9 bonus dice. That would be a lot. That would be the max. I think that would be an extraordinarily rare circumstance. So that would potentially allow you to add a lot. That would be if you were rolling 9 bonus dice and they all rolled 2, that would get you a plus 19 to your roll. That would be freaking gigantic. I mean, that would be at the absolutely maximum possible, which would be extremely rare, that you've got 3 positive circumstances that are all plus 3 dice, and there are no negative circumstances to counteract those, and you rolled the best possible. Raccoons are the bad guys. Is there a redemption arc for the raccoons? Yeah, they're not evil. I don't want them to be evil. You know, certain raccoons could be, and also not all of the rabbits are necessarily, you know, they're the good guys, but they're the ones the story about, but not all of them are necessarily good. So there's not neither the raccoons aren't evil, and like the rabbits aren't inherently good. Trick, your dice mechanic concepts make me think of Degeneres and their Cathar system mechanic. It emphasizes skill but can get crunchy. I appreciate how clean the edge system you're working on is. Well, thank you, Trick. I don't know that system. Maybe that is one we need to look out at on the morning grind. Yeah, I don't want them to be inherently evil or anything like that. Like Rocket Raccoon. Let's see. You know, can you imagine the I want it's like where you walk outside with the trash one day, and in your driveway are a bunch of raccoons dressed like this with swords, who are telling you, all right, drop the trash bag and back away. We are here. The raccoon raiders are here. Not all who wander are lost. I like raccoons too. They're cute and clever, and night video cameras have filmed them and cats playing together. Oh, hanging out and having fun when there are no humans around. Yeah, there have been, I know some people who've actually had, like, seems like pretty good relationships actually with wild raccoons that would come up on their back porches and things like that. Oh, yeah, see? Okay, so that's where I want to go with that. So let's take a look at what needs to be written here in order to have something that's viable for playtest. So I need to finish writing out this and understanding the new usage of bonus and penalty dice. The final thing is kind of determining success. And I do want to have a note here about trying again, because I'm thinking that I don't want to have this set up so that, hey, you failed. Okay, well then, can I try again? Like I want the game to sort of not have that. Because if you're making a roll at all, it is because there was some type of pressing limitation. Because we've set up, the system is being set up so that if you're not under pressure, you probably don't need to make a roll at all, because you're going to be able to succeed. If you can get to the required level, the target number, then you're going to succeed or you're going to fail. if you're making a roll at all, it means you're in a high pressure situation where there's some kind of consequence. So just, I failed. Can I try again? I want the game to set up so you probably know you can't. Something has happened. Now, I titled this Special Situations because I think that there are, so that's, I mean, this is the core action resolution mechanic. And we do need to talk about combat and being taken out, which I want to be based on this core action mechanic. But there are special situations that need to go along with the action resolution system. And I can think about the working together. So if more than one player is trying to work together, you know, or to accomplish something, I need to make sure the system supports that. That seems like it's necessary for play testing and playing. Group checks need to be written up. And you can see I've started writing some of this, drafting all this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all current. But I need to talk about how to do group checks. Partial success. So long tasks, I think I've actually probably already covered by now, because that's something that would be that would not be under pressure, that you're probably not rolling for. So I think that may have already been talked about a bit. But partial success is one that we need to discuss, because it would be great to be able to do that in some way that doesn't require a whole bunch of adjudication at the table in an arbitrary way. So my difficulty with that in the past has been, hey, it's really easy to just write in the rule book, hey, if you roll this, you fail. If you roll this, you succeed. If you roll in this window, though, it's a partial success. Adjudicate that on the table on the fly. That sometimes is rather difficult. So partial success, though, my idea with partial success had been, well, if you're trying to attack somebody and you're doing some hit points worth of damage, what does that mean? That you are partially successful in killing them, right? And that one way that if I'm going to use that system for being taken out, then you could put hit points into other situations as well, which is interestingly exactly the kind of thing that the index card RPG does. Because picking a lock, you've got to roll. So you've got basically the lock has hit points. Not exactly, but it's like called effort or something like that. That you're rolling against to try to pick the lock when there's a certain amount of time going on. So if you're trying to pick the lock while somebody else is trying to kill the goblin, the lock has got so many hit points that you've got to roll against in order to get the lock done. I think it's an interesting way to do that. So I want to put something in about partial success, and I'm interested in a unified action resolution mechanic. So if we've got hit points and being taken out, then that needs to also go over to picking the lock, for instance, I think. But I'm not completely sure how we want to be taken out of combat, because I had been thinking when this was more Fate-like that you've got certain amounts of stress and then you've got consequences. And I want to make sure that we're having consequences and cards that we are rolling for, the cards that we are using to indicate actual wounds that you're taking or other circumstances or modifiers that are put on you. So that's going to be a big thing. That's going to be a big thing. Contests seems to be a special circumstance, such as sometimes two or more characters are competing with one another, but they're not actually in opposition with one another, such as running a race. They're not in opposition with one another. This one does seem to be a special circumstance. So that's what I was calling that. Both players are rolling checks in that case. Opposed checks, when two characters are actively trying to accomplish the same task. I think I'm eliminating opposed checks because I'm moving to static modifiers, like static defenses. I want to do a whole video specifically on the math behind active defenses, because in general, I'm for active defenses. I think that comes out of playing Hero Quest, because on Hero Quest, you attack and you defend. But in many circumstances, when you're actually doing game design, I think that rolling against a static number is better. I'm going to do a dedicated YouTube video on that. So those are the special circumstances that need to be worked out. I think combat and being taken out of action needs to be worked on. And then how exactly we're generating a character. So there's still quite a bit more work to do here. It may be the case that this can't be done in 10,000 words. It may be that this has to be the next size up book. raccoons near the military base are built different. They bulk up on the base's leftovers. Well, that's probably what was happening. Genetically engineered raccoon super soldiers. So the dice being used for the game are custom dice. So that was one thing that I had to go with, is that I realized in order to do this, I was going to have custom dice. So the dice that are being used generate a number between 0 and 5. So this is here. I'll show this. But the general edge dice, because most of the modifier or most of the number that you're rolling comes from the static number on your character sheet. So your skill will be something like 10, because the random dice are only going to be able to generate a number between 0 and 5, and the dice are going to be generating that according to a very specific probability distribution. And it's this right here. So you will roll 2 dice that are all labeled 0 to 5. And that's either D6s that are 0 to 5 or a D12 that's labeled 0 to 5 twice. And when you do that and you pick the lowest, you actually end up with this probability distribution right here, which means it's probable that you're adding nothing. And then the maximum you can add is 5, but it's not equally probable that you're adding any number. You are more likely to roll close to your skill, and then less likely to roll up to a 5. And if you're not under pressure, then you get to add the 5 automatically. If you're in a pressure situation, you have to roll for that 5 modifier. And you do so according to that distribution right there. And then you roll your bonus or penalty dice, which can generate a 0, 1, or 2 on the dice. Okay, so I also went over here. So once we get the basic action resolution system down, then we can worry about making characters, because then we need to know what type of statistics do the characters have in order to make this system, this action resolution system, function. And so the core abilities I started to put in because I needed to be able to work out what different standard difficulty classes are for the action resolution system. So once you establish what your difficulty classes are and the target numbers you're trying to reach are, then you can work backwards and decide what are different levels of skills, abilities, and also skills, right? So we're going to be generating these characters, or what we need to know about our characters, based on what our core action resolution system is. And I really want people to be able to generate their their characters by using cards. So I've got down here, this is the appendix. In fact, let me put this in a folder. Add new folder. This is going to be appendix. Because I want you to be able to, well, I need fantasy class. Because this book right here is not supposed to be world specific. The world specific books are like the Tales of Rabavania book. I'm trying to create a general system here. Tales of Rabavania, Theophany, the Cthulhu thing, if I do that one, I want those to be available under different rule sets. But I've just always wanted to make an RPG, so that's why I'm making this one. But so I would want to make those world books with these RPG rules, as well as others. I figure now is the time to do that. So I thought that character generation needs to come from adjective, so it would be an adjective, race, class, or profession from some place. Somebody, when I was saying this earlier, somebody was saying adjective, like race, class, who, verb. And I hadn't heard of that before because I was going from place. Put your place down there. But actually, it was the Monty Cook's cipher system that was using a verb in there, right? So it was actually very similar to the way that I was thinking that a character should be designed, but that cipher system was using a verb. And I didn't completely understand that. I need to go back because we didn't look at character creation. We were looking at the cipher system soon. So it'll be probably soon time to go back and take a look at character creation for a bunch of different systems, because we'd been looking at how to actually play in action resolution systems. Time to start looking at character creation because we're about to transition to character creation over here. And I didn't understand how that verb worked. I think the from works better. So your character would be an adjective. So I started listing adjectives because I think it would be great to have adjectives, and you can include these in an appendix in the book, and you could roll for it. So go ahead and put a die roll there. So if you're going to randomly generate a character, you could randomly generate one. But I was trying to come up with different adjectives for different characters. So like brilliant, creative. I want to make sure that none of these adjectives duplicate anything that would be inherent because of the character's attributes. So if you've got a high strength attribute, I don't want to say strong, because strong would be implied by your high strength. Likewise, intelligent, that needs to go as well, because intelligence would just be you've got a high intelligence characteristic, so that needs to go. But honest would not be something that is indicated by your primary attributes. So independent, carefree, adventurous is probably might go for everybody, but I was trying to come up with a big list of adjectives, and I was thinking that you could generate characters potentially through a draft. So like the game master would come up with a stack of adjective cards that they think would generate good heroes for this particular adventure. A stack of races. So this was just some general races. Like I think some of these, like Yuan Ti, that's specific. That's IP product identity. But anyway, so I was just trying to come up with a list of general fantasy races. So I think there could be some general races in the back here. So you would be, the mischievous goblin monk or something like that. So each one of these would be a different stack of cards as well. And then hand each stack to all the players, have them choose an adjective, have them choose a race, and then have on the card some of the things that race does, on the classes as well. And then from, you could generate that. I was trying to think of different environments, from a desert monastery, or from a coastal castle, or from a forest metropolis. And if you're doing something that is world specific, then you could actually have the names of specific locations as well. But if you're doing something as a general book in the beginning here, then just knowing that you are from a undersea village, okay, would tell you a lot about your background and when that could come up. Because these things up here, your adjective list, your from location, that might be something that would give you a bonus die in certain situations. So, oh yeah, hey, I'm trying to accomplish what type of action? Oh, well, hey, I'm from a jungle, city. That's relevant here, right? So I'll take the bonus die, or potentially relevant here, so I'll take the bonus die. So I'm thinking that's the way that you generate a character. You would also have to have your attributes. So you would have, you could have stacks of adjectives, a stack of races, a stack of classes, a stack of locations, and then also a stack of your attributes. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of cards that you've got. And then if the game master had selected the ones from like a whole deck that would make good characters for this particular type of adventure, because character creation, I don't want to take more than 15 minutes. Then each character gets a different stack, and then you draft. Pick one or two or pick one from your stack, and then pass your stack to the left, and then pick one and go around to the left. And the game master could put like 3 goblin cards in there if he was okay with more than one person being a goblin, or if you just wanted to have one lizard folk, you could put 1 lizard folk in the stack. I mean, or the players could choose from the entire deck. But I was kind of thinking that in order to speed things up and to make sure that the characters are something that are kind of appropriate to the game being played and the game master is trying to tell, the game master might take a few minutes to kind of sort those decks and then hand them out. And then let the players draft. And then you're sitting there with 5 different cards in front of you. And that tells you everything you need to know about your character in order to play. Trick says, would have to adjust all your system's numbers up, but using D10 gives you a 0. Yes. Well, then you could go 0 to 9, right? You could go 0 to 9. So I was thinking about that. And I was trying to not go too large with all the numbers you have to add together. So I thought 5 was good. But you could, you could do that. You could do that. Stray says, I like the under pressure mechanic. Not all who wander are lost as 0 to 5, so people could use standard dice and just deduct 1 if they want to use standard physical dice, right? They could, yes. Now that doesn't get you or what you do is just take, if you've got some standard dice with pips on it, you could just take a Sharpie marker and make the 6 into a 0. Like by drawing around a 6, you make the 6 look like a 0. So if you roll a 6, you roll a 0. But that doesn't get you the bonus and penalty dice. And originally I had 0 to 3 on the bonus and penalty dice, but as you can roll more of them, I'm thinking 0 to 2 on the bonus and penalty dice is better. So it sure would be nice if you also had a way to make bonus and penalty dice out of some standard dice that you've got. I guess you could do it out of D6s. If it's 0 to 3, maybe you could mark on them and make them into 0 to 2 as well. So I got to think about that, because that, I understand that some people don't want custom dice, but everything's a trade-off. And it seemed like that in order to do what I was trying to do with this game, that it just had to be custom dice. So I'm thinking that, well, it would be nice if you could modify existing dice. That way you could just play. Or make up some that are printable, like to be able to print dice. So once it's finalized, I need to have some that are 3D files that could be downloaded. And then if you've got a 3D printer, you could just print up dice. And then later, of course, you could have some actually made for people. I see people talking about that, but I don't know anything about it. I'm not a huge video gamer anyway, and I read the Harry Potter books, but a lot of my other friends are much more into Harry Potter than I am. I read the books and I watched the movies and I enjoyed them. That's about it. VGD says, until you get up and running with custom dice, you can always get your hands on a set of specialty D6s that replace the 6 with a special symbol and then designate that symbol 0 in your rolls. You could do that too. Yeah. Yeah. The D6s are pretty easy. In fact, I probably got some of those sitting over there on the shelf already. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Could do that. Do people rely much on random personality? When I make a character, like, I don't want random. Well, I mean, I think if you're making a big table in the back in an RPG book, you might as well put numbers by them so you can generate a random character or generate a random NPC or something like that. But I would think that when you're creating a character, that no, it is not random. Four-sided would be 0 to 3. Yeah. Yeah, you can get blank D6s as well. So with the 6-sided, yeah, that one, yeah, if I go that way, it's also that could be a way to go as well, Mike. So we'll see. Random is very handy, yeah, for rolling up, yeah, because I'm for even though I really appreciated the Dungeon Crawl Classics. Hey, let's just roll 3d6 straight down. We're generating a whole bunch of those. I got to try that. For a game like this that's more narrative, I want the players to be able to play the kind of character that they want to play. Go ahead and let them get that. All right. Well, so that was where I am and what I'm thinking about as far as the RPG design goes, as well as some other stuff. Kind of a chill day today. I've got to go grocery shopping. I'm still going to try to chill, but I got meetings. And then, hey, everybody, tonight, 7:30 p.m. Central, Brianna and I are going to be talking about the hero's journey and storytelling. And if you want to talk to her about directing and more stuff about the what we're doing, because she and I had said we were like, she and I might end up moving out to LA. We were thinking about like, when do we do that? Once we have all of our pitch stuff together, we've thought about doing that. Well, because some people will move out to LA and then sit in coffee shops like Starbucks and write all their scripts. But I don't have to do that because I have a house here. So I don't need to move out to LA in order to write scripts in a Starbucks. I can do all of that and get all of my pitch material ready sitting right here in my house. But then once we have that ready, then we can go out there. And so we might do that. That might be something we end up doing maybe in a year or something like that. So, all right. Later, everybody. I will see you tonight. Grind on.